Howdy, it's Alexander here at AZ Firearms Auctions, taking a look at one of the guns we have coming up in our December 9th high-end military auction. This is an H&K P8a1. It looks a lot like a USP, quacks a lot like a USP, but it is different in a handful of ways that I'll get into later. I'll bring you in to take a closer look at some of the features as I describe them to you. Now, developed in the 90s by H&K, this was actually made to replace the P1, which is based on the earlier P38 in German service. Which was a little bit outclassed in the 90s. 9 years earlier, in 1985, the US would have adopted the M9, replacing the M1911A1. Their neighbors, Austria, in I want to say 1983, would have adopted the Glock to replace the sticks and the spears that they were using. Now, aside from the fact that it says P8A1 on the slide and frame instead of USP, the biggest difference between this and the civilian USP is that the safety lever is up for fire and down for safe. That is an opposite to up for safe and down from fire from the normal USP. The German Army liked this feature more because it has more relation to the P1, earlier the P38 that was in service with the German Army at the time, which had a slide-mounted safety that up is fire. Although it's in different positions, they just didn't want to change familiarity between soldiers. It's a worse feature, objectively, but it makes a lot more sense when you consider that it can't be carried cocked and locked because down is the decocker. So if you get a little bit too antsy on the draw, you take the safety off, your thumb goes too far, and you bring the hammer down. Now, under the hood, the biggest difference between this and a USP is the barrel. The original P8, later P8A1, used land and groove rifling, which is pretty common amongst pistols, but H&K is really well known for their polygonal rifling. So once they entered the civilian market with the USP, that is what became standard. The switch from the P8 to the P8A1 didn't improve on that. Really the only change was updated sights, and as well as beefier slide and frames in some parts, and a different finish on the slide. But other than that, it is a kind of backwards, kind of wonky German military version of the USP. Now, I don't have a P1 or a P38 here for demonstration, but just to kind of show you how the slide safety worked in similarity to the P8A1, here we have a World War II era PPK, also coming up in our December 9th high-end military auction. Just notice how up is fire, that's also the decocker, and then on the P8A1, up is fire as well. Now, this pistol does come new in box, along with two of the translucent magazines only present on the P8s. Normal USPs ship with black matte polymer magazines, as well as the original box. Now, H&K never imported these proper. They've always had to come through third parties. This one was imported by B&T, formerly Brugger and Tomat, out of Switzerland, but this B&T USA. It's just a really cool piece that we don't often see in the US civilian market. And if you're into German service pistols, this is just one of the cooler ones. So check this out. We have a bunch like this, a bunch similar to this. That is going to be our December 9th high-end military auction. We are always buying and consigning firearms, ammo, and firearms accessories. So if you haven't checked us out, feel free. That is pogauctions.com, December 9th. Hope to see you there.